Maybe the joke was the gas part. Maybe the joke was the freedom part, which is odd because the town in question from which the LNG will be exported is called Freeport. There are a lot of cities and towns called Freeport, actually, and the name absolutely has to do with freedom. But I guess freedom, it's such an old-fashioned, old white male thing or something. Again, I'm not quite sure what the comedy here was, but this tweet linked to this article in a left-wing website owned by the Washington Post. The left-wing website is called Slate magazine. I'll read a little bit. I'll just read the headline there. It says the Department of Energy is now calling fossil fuels molecules of freedom and freedom gas. That's what they said. Now, right away, there's a photo there. You see that photo there? Let me read the caption on the photo. From now on, this is known as a freedom flame. It's actually a natural gas flame in New Mexico. So there's a lot to laugh at. I guess to them the word freedom is funny. Say the people who enjoy the greatest freedom in the history of the world, a freedom never before enjoyed by their ancestors, a freedom so longed for by most people in the world to this day. But it's funny. I mean, freedom, that's so Trump, eh? He's so stupid. These are people who make up phrases about solar and wind power being clean energy, even though solar and wind power often need rare earth metals that are mined in the dirtiest mines in the world, in China. And wind turbines use steel, which cannot be made without coal. So the liberal left makes up words for wind and solar power. They call it clean power, which is not true. But they hate when Trump uses the word freedom in natural gas that is made in a free country. No surprise there. Let me read this story. The Trump administration loves fossil fuels, but apparently has decided that they need some rebranding, or so E&E news editor Ellen Gilmer discovered Tuesday when she opened up what should have been the world's driest press release. Yeah, I guess anything real, oil, gas, tankers, exports, real life, actual people who work as opposed to just type on Slate website, is dry to people who prefer doing journalism, like the top 10 moments where the Game of Thrones was just like real life in high school, or top 10 ways to argue with your right-wing uncle about trans rights at Thanksgiving dinner. So I guess real life stuff is dry by comparison. Now, Slate links to the actual government press release. Let me read from it a bit. This is the press release from the Department of Energy. Department of Energy authorizes additional LNG exports from Freeport LNG. Now I'm going to read a paragraph, the one that they mocked. I liked it actually. Now remember, LNG stands for liquefied natural gas. So the gas is fracked, that makes tiny little cracks under the ground. To release the gas is pumped to the surface. Now they cool the gas to make it into a liquid, which is way smaller in volume. So they make it extremely cold, it makes the gas turn into a liquid, and then they put the liquid on ships, and they sell it to places like Europe, displacing the conflict energy that they import from Russia and OPEC countries. That sounds pretty great to me. And it's what we would be doing in Canada by now if we didn't have a substitute drama teacher blocking anything with carbon in it. So here's the story. Approval of additional LNG exports from Freeport LNG furthers this administration's commitment to promoting American energy, American jobs, and the American economy. Further, increased supplies of U.S. natural gas on the world market are critical to advancing clean energy and the energy security of our allies around the globe. With the U.S. in another year of record-setting natural gas production, I am pleased that the Department of Energy is doing what it can to promote an efficient regulatory system that allows for molecules of U.S. freedom to be exported to the world, said Assistant Secretary for Fossil Energy Stephen Winberg, who signed the export order and was also in attendance at the Clean Energy Ministerial. So that's hilarious, I guess, but it really is clean energy. If you care about carbon, which I don't really, other than I like carbon, because like you, I am made of carbon. Carbon in the form of natural gas burns more cleanly than, say, coal. I like coal too. And yeah, natural gas from America, I said gas, guys, is cleaner morally than gas from Russia or OPEC. I mean, it's all the same molecule, but it's ethically cleaner. You could call it ethical oil. It's ethical gas. They say freedom gas, same thing. That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it which you can do at therebel.media/shows.